presenting the webinar today. I'll start with the first part of the presentation, and then we'll move forward. So a couple of fun facts that we like to mention in these sort of webinars is what is happening in general in the IT world. This is information from surveys, from well-known resources online, such as LinkedIn, or entities that are mainly performing some service on businesses. And there's a couple of things that we can mention that caught our attention, and it's one of the reasons why we decided to create this webinar. So a couple of them that, well, the most important ones I would say is that AI is present in almost every piece of technology that we have access to right now. 77% of devices have some sort of feature that relates to AI right now. 4 out of 5 businesses are considering AI is a priority, right? It's a strategic business priority. There's a third of customers, a third of businesses that have incorporated already any sort of AI in their services, in the way they work internally, in the products they serve to customers. There is also a large amount of customers that consider that AI is, or businesses, right, that consider that AI is essential for staying ahead of your competition, right? Again, this data comes from service. We are using AI also as a business, and many of the businesses that we have business reviews with, they are also using a lot of AI tools as of right now. Just a couple of the fun facts we wanted to kind of mention to create some perspective of what this presentation will be about. So in order to define what's Google Gemini or what it is, we consider that it's really important to understand what is generative AI. So in a nutshell, the technical explanation will be that it is some sort of artificial intelligence that allows humans to create images, text, right? And is meant to make the end user to collaborate better, to I would say get things done faster, right, and optimize their time and resources throughout the day. Now, we wanted to provide some sort of general explanation that could help us kind of put an analogy, right, in simple terms, what it actually is before explaining what Gemini is. So generative AI is like having Albert Einstein within your business. So a person with, I mean, a huge amount of knowledge that you can ask anything, and he will be an expert in that specific field. We can also compare it to having Google search with steroids. What this means is that is not just looking for something online and you're going to receive a result of like 100 websites. This is the information that it provides you with. It actually understands your request and provides you with understandable, human, readable, and understandable outcomes. So it's not just providing you what is out there in the web, but it's actually based on the parameters that you're providing you with a response that one of your friends with a good amount of knowledge would give you. And last but not least, we wanted to explain or use this analogy to explain what generative AI is, comparing it to an encyclopedia. It is literally like having a living encyclopedia. A way for you to look for something, a topic, how to do something, anything that you're looking for, and is able to correlate this topic with some other areas, right? So it's like having access to a huge library of information, is what we're trying to say. So with that in mind, what is Gemini? So Gemini is the way that Google has integrated AI into Google Workspace. So in simple terms, we wanted to make a comparison. There's many people right now comparing Gemini with ChatGPT. is not the same. It's not simply a chatbot. It's a lot more. It's actually integrating this expert, this encyclopedia, right, within the Google Workspace environment. So in terms that we are able to define and understand, is a smart assistant is a know-it-all friend that you have directly within your Google Workspace environment. It is kind of like your colleague that has a super brain and a super eyes and brain. We define it that way. A way for you to generate scenarios and find solutions. We wanted to explain it as a what-if machine, and a way for you to forecast and plan or learn new things, right? So there's a couple of use cases that we'd like to elaborate in which you're able to use Gemini, so we can start to define specific features that are available. So couple of scenarios that we can provide based on specific industries. Just to understand, right? Gemini is having this generative AI capabilities within your Google Workspace. Think of Gmail, think about spreadsheets, think about Google Meet, think about Google Workspace applications, right? So right there is where you have access to Google Gemini, and you are able to accomplish certain tasks. When it was launched, and as of right now, the main features that are being advertised and in which there's features integrated already and already tested and working are in Gmail, Google Docs, Google Slides, and Google Sheets. So you literally have access to a chat in which you are able to request the AI, right, to be able to do certain tasks for you. In most of the scenarios, it's meant to help you to create text, create images. So in Google Docs and in Gmail, it's a chat that the paragraph that you see, it says, help me write. So you literally request something in return, right, that will provide you some sort of text paragraph that you're asking this AI to generate for you. In Slides is called help me visualize. So it's mainly meant to generate images based on specific descriptions that you'll provide. And in Google Sheets, right, is help me organize, is in order to help you generate anything that you are, working within Sheets, tasks, projects. It's mainly used right now to track certain and manage certain parts of your operation. Of course, these slides, we're going to be sharing them with you. So in case you want to see some videos, examples, we just want to give you some general idea at the moment so we can further explain with a live demo, right, and provide you some overview about what you're able to accomplish with that. So with that in mind, we wanted to give some perspective of what you're able to accomplish within your organization. So we brought some examples in certain industries to put some live or real world problems that Gemini is able to solve. So for example, in healthcare, is able to help, let's say, a doctor to summarize patient medical history into concise notes, right? So long documents pretty much just to get the recap of what the patient information is about. In sales, in general, is able to help sales members, frontline members, SDRs, BDRs, to work on the leads, create presentations, create materials, tailor content that is going to be delivered to your customers, or responses that you provide to your customers. In finance, to put an example, an accountant, right, trying to get explanations on complex tax regulations, on complex documents, again, in human understandable language, as if one of your friends was explaining you something to you. In technology, this is used, right, to, well, software developers use it to debug, to generate codes, or just simply as an assistant when working with any sort of technologies that require coding. In marketing, as an example, a campaign coordinator is able to create tailor emails, right, according to your customers, your market, anything that you need. And in retail and e-commerce, just to put the example, right, a store manager is able to adjust, right, the inventory based on historical information that you already have in Google Sheets. So that's just to provide some general idea of what is capable of doing in certain industries. Now, there is a term that gets really, I mean, you'll hear it a lot when you're talking about generative AI, which is prompting, and is something that the way you understand generative AI, the way when you start to interact, if you haven't interacted with it before, is getting into a skill. You have to know how you will request this information to the AI, what type of information you will request. And to provide some additional details and information about this, I will request one of my colleagues, one of our cloud engineers, as presented, David, to probably go and provide some more details in here. I'll retake it at a later slide.
Thank you, Frank. And of course, as Frank was saying, prompting, it's going to be a game changer. Like, that is one of the things that people are getting experts on how to create better prompts in order to ask the AI for and get better results. So for example, well, you can think of the AI as like a smart friend, but someone that easily can get confused. A good prompt is like a clear question you ask them. So to better explain what you want, you will need to explain, create a better prompt or create a better question for the AI. So for that, Google does provide us with additional help in order to create different prompts. And depending on the type of business that your company's it's under, you will be able to use those resources. So you can better get an understanding on how Gemini works, and how to better create those prompts. So there is a prompt guide Google provides us with, and that is a PDF that you can download. And here's the link again. We will be sharing this presentation so you can have it there, and you can download that prompt guide. So the PDF, it's going to arm you with the fundamentals or the abilities to compose an efficient prompt. When these prompts will serve you as an initial point for conversations with your AI assistant, and they are going to aid you in your day-to-day tasks. Crafting prompts will help you kind of steer the conversation into what you want and what you're exactly looking for the AI. So that prompt guide, again, is a long document that you can download. You will be able to see it yourself, and you're going to see some example prompts that you can generate from with Gemini. And of course, that's something that you can use. But that's not all. We also have, Google also provides us with some tips. So there are some helps in articles that we're linking here too, where you can find some tips to write prompts, again, depending on the types of business. So because crafting, prompts or effective prompts, could be a little bit complicated for you to get the correct answer you're looking for. You do have, tips where Google gives you a list of the most common, companies and how those prompts can work in order to get a better response from Gemini. So that it is also one of the things that they provide you with, and some of like the best practices into writing the prompts to Gemini. Again, we also do have another set of resource, and that is something that our team has built. And we do have a tool that is called Help Me Gemini. So Help Me Gemini is a tool that is a must-have for enhancing your interactions with Gemini. So whether you're starting to use Gemini, whether you've starting to use the AI, like if you've used other AIs before, or if you're just getting started, this tool that our team has built is kind of like a secret weapon for you to start crafting, better prompts. I'll demonstrate how it works shortly in a small demo, but essentially, you input the prompt idea. And then Help Me Gemini will do kind of like the heavy lifting. It's going to help you refine your prompt for to get better responses from Gemini. So it's like you're having your own personal prompt wizard. So again, I'm going to show you how that works in a second. But it is a pretty neat tool that you will see how it works, and you will see that you can even find useful in order to create those better prompts, and get better results from Gemini. Um, Also, so there are a couple of new things coming up for Google Workspace on add-ons. So there are three add-ons that Google Workspace has released, and this was just released in Google's Cloud Next. And those three Google Workspace add-ons, and this is only for the ones who maybe don't want to have all the Gemini features, like they're not looking to have like the full subscription of Gemini. Maybe they're looking for a specific set of features inside of Gemini. Um, for that, Google has released three add-ons. So that one is the AI meetings add-on, the messaging add-on, and the security add-on. So the meetings and messaging add-on, what it does is that it grabs a piece of what Gemini is currently doing, and it's going to give it to you. For example, with the meetings AI, you will be able to create backgrounds in Google Meet. You will be able to, have a studio look, use the studio look feature, the studio sound, the studio lighting in Google Meet. You will also be able to use the real-time translated captions, and the newest feature as well that is slowly rolling out to everyone who has already Gemini is the Take Notes for Me. So the Take Notes for Me is also one of the newest tools or newest features with Gemini, where, for example, right here in this Google Meet, you will be able to have the AI take notes for you through the entire session of the meeting, and then your Google is going to be able to send out to you those notes in an email. So that is something that comes with an add-on. And again, those are for customers that maybe don't want to have the full Gemini subscription. Maybe they won't only want to have just a couple of the features for Google Meet specifically. Um, then that is why Google has released that add-on. For AI security, that one is also one of the things that is coming over to as an add-on, and that is for security. Basically, for it's going to help provide the IT department or anyone that is want to secure their data inside of Google Workspace. That security tool will help identify and will help classify sensitive files across your entire organization. So using the AI security add-on, you can use, or you're going to use the AI, or AI models that are going to be specifically tailored to your organization's data, and you're going to ensure accurate classification. So if you have a higher subscription, and you are currently utilizing something like data loss protection, with this AI security, you will be able to classify, or better classify, let's say, documents, sensitive documents, and apply different rules to them. So, for example, you want to have like a couple of documents where you don't want them to be shared externally. You want sensitive data not to be shared externally, or not to be copied, or not to be downloaded. With the AI security tool, you will be able to better classify that data. So again, that is something that comes included with the full Gemini license. But if you are only looking for that specific feature, then Google has released that AI security add-on, which you will be able to use. Um, And what's next? So now knowing that we have those add-ons from Google Workspace, now knowing how, the best practices and the documents that Google provides us with in order to craft better prompts, and that also includes the tool, the Help Me Gemini tool that we have. There are things that are coming up next for Gemini, and those are things that are currently on in alpha testing. So one of the updates that came in from Google Cloud Next was some of the alpha testing that Google is currently doing with, kind of integrating Gemini with most of the applications from Google. So you do have a couple of updates that are coming in, and those are being slowly rolled out. For example, the Gemini side panel. So Gemini side panel, as the word says, is going to be a panel that's going to be integrated in your applications for Docs, Sheets, Slides, and Drive. Those are going to be right there on the right side of your screen. You'll be able to use it, and it's going to seamlessly integrate it with, with all of those applications. So it's going to analyze your work. It's going to offer you suggestions. It's going to offer you like summaries, drafts. It's going to give you suggestions on what to do with the data that you have at hand. Something that Gemini is not doing, but again, those are some of the alpha features that are being rolled out by Google. You also have some additional language support for Help Me Write in Gmail and Google Docs. So Spanish and Portuguese are coming for Gemini as well. And then, as I was saying, you do have also the take notes for me. So the take notes for me, as I said, that is going to automatically capture and it's going to share meeting notes in Google Docs. So it's going to automatically identify action items. It's going to assign them to attendees. It's going to provide a summary so far during the meeting. And of course, after the call has ended, it's going to provide you with a summary for easy reference. The take notes for me, again, that is currently rolling out, and we have seen it work in in our workspace, and that is a very, very nice feature to have. And lastly, one of the updates here that also came with the Google Cloud Next is the voice prompts and instant polish for Gmail's Help Me Write feature. So for that, you are going to be able to use your voice to create better emails with your Gmail app. And not only that, it's also going to help you draft or create drafts. For example, if you only have a rough idea on what you want to send or what you want to reply on an email, you will just be able to just add a couple of lines in it, just your idea, and or Gemini will be able to create or an email for you with the instant polish feature. So again, those are things that are slowly rolling out. We hope that once Google has finally tested out those features, they become available to everyone. That's right now that is currently being tested, by a set of customers or workspace. We do have a couple of things here, a couple of examples. If you see, on how this side panel will look like, or is starting to look like, it's going to, again, for Google Docs, is going to help you write and refine content in context. It's going to help you summarize long documents, retrieve quick facts about projects. The good thing is that you will be able to use prompts, for anything that is integrated with Gemini inside of Google Docs or Gmail. Some of the prompts you will be able to use is like, summarize this document for me, or explain this document like I'm 5 years old, or even, summarize this text. Things like that you will be able to ask Gemini to do within your document, and Gemini will be able to answer, for you. You will also be able to create images, which is something that, you will be able to use for Google Docs as well. And one of the things is that you will be able to reference other documents within your drive. For Gmail, we also have kind of like the same features. You have like you'll be able to use the summarize this email. You'll be able to use like create a list of actions for me based on this email. Or again, if there's a long email and you just want to get a summary or a better explanation, you can do something like, explain this email like I'm 5, and you will be able to, get that clear information from very long emails. Going with Google Sheets and Google Slides, again, as we saw, you will be able to now create formulas with the Gemini using prompts. So you will be able to just select the range and then just type in something like, create a formula that divides goals by games, or create a formula that does this and that. You will also be able to have Gemini kind of like summarize the spreadsheet, or of course, same example, kind of explain it to, explain the spreadsheet like I'm 5 years old, things like that. Uh, and all of that will be done by prompts. So that's what, we're saying, that having or crafting better prompts, it's one of the things that, we highly recommend to do. And our tool, the Help Me Gemini tool, is the tool that will help you out accomplish that too. For slides, we also have a couple of updates here for the side panel. Right now, you can create images, but now with the Gemini side panel, once it completely launches, you will be able to have Gemini suggest images based on the content that sees, that you are actually working on your slides. It's going to be able to, create slides for you. It's going to be able to summarize a slide for you, and it's going to be able to, create multiple slides depending on the content that you give it. Like if you want to make a reference on a Google document, then you will be able to have a Google slide created for you. So again, those are things that are currently coming in, for the alpha rollout. So it's highly interesting to see that these changes or these new updates are coming in. So it will be very interesting to see them work, with the Gemini tool. For a quick demo, we do have a quick demo here and resources I wanted to show you on how things work, how Gemini works, how it can work for you with 3 different services: for Google Docs, for Gmail, and for spreadsheets. And for this demo, we will be using the tool that we've talked about, the Help Me Gemini tool, which again is going to help us create those better prompts. And here's the scenario we have. For example, if you work in marketing and you have your work in marketing, and your company or your manager is saying like, hey, we want you to handle a new running shoe campaign, or we want you to just launch this new shoe that we're launching in the summer. And we want to have a blog post. We want to email our clients about this, give them discounts, or just kind of like sell the product, and also track how the sales go, maybe track how you're going to send the leads to the sales team. For all of that, you can use Gemini in order to simplify your life, or simplify your work. And I am going to show you how this works right now, and I'm going to share my screen in a minute. Let's see. Yep, sure now. Here we go. Okay. So for example, let's use, and this is, the Gemini add-on, the Help Me Gemini. It's here right on the right corner. And Frank is going to explain a little bit more about how to get this tool to work with Gemini, or, to be integrated or to be installed. But here you can find it on the top right corner. And this is where you will be able to use it in order to, create those prompts for you. But I am not seeing it on my screen, so just give me 1 second. I'm going to share my entire screen here so that you can see completely what I'm seeing. So 1 minute. Here we go. Okay, now you see it. Yeah. So you see here, it says type initial prompt here, and then we get the new prompt, a better prompt. So let's say, for example, and we are going to have a couple of examples here, which I'm going to grab. So here, this one, for example, this is the prompt we have that we can use. So let's say we want to do a blog post, and we want to have Google Docs create a blog post for us, or ideas or brainstorming of a blog post. So let's say I want to create a brainstorm document for blog post ideas on a new sales campaign for a new running shoe for the summer. So this is my initial prompt. Again, this could be this is not a quality prompt, as we're not telling Gemini exactly what we need, what the target is. We just simply have this, and we want to use the Help Me Gemini to create a better prompt for us. So what we do is just put in this here, click on submit, and Help Me Gemini will help us create that new prompt. It's going to be able to create that for us, and and we will get this. So, for example, you see here it says develop a comprehensive brainstorm document that explores the diverse range and creative. So you see all of this that the Help Me Gemini tool is creating for us, and it's even adding, consider current transit fitness, health, and outdoor activities. So our initial prompt was just basically saying like, hey, we are launching, we just want to have a brainstorm document with blog post ideas about the new sales campaign for a new running shoe. And the Help Me Gemini tool gave us all of this, which is going to help us out creating that Google Doc or creating that blog post. So we copy this information, we go over to the Help Me Write, and we click on Create. Let's go ahead and see what comes out here for Gemini. And yes, here we go. So here is the document, or kind of like the text that Gemini was able to create. And you see here like product reviews and comparisons. We get training tips and guides, tips for choosing the right running shoe based on individual needs. We get personal stories and testimonies, current trends and integration. So we have all of this that is or has been created by Gemini by using the prompt. And the good thing is that you do have a couple of things that you can do in case you want to get different answers. If you want to get a different set of Google Doc here, or different text, you have the refine. So you can do, summarize, elaborate, shorten. You can do retry if you want, or you have your custom. This also is for the tool to Help Me Gemini. So for example, if you don't want to, if you want to maybe have it to be recreated or to try again for a new prompt, just click here, and that is going to retry that. And it's going to create another prompt for you. So for example, I want to do a retry here. Maybe I don't like this. I want to have I want to see another one, just to kind of get an idea on what I'm going to use. And of course, you also have, even current trends in fitness, health, how the new running shoe can help you stay fit and healthy. The only thing you need to do is just click on insert, and that is going to be added here by Gemini. So that is how it works for Google Docs. For example, now if we go to the use of Gmail. So now that we have our Google Doc with a brainstorm idea, I want to use, maybe I want to send an email campaign for existing customers, just to let them know that, we are going to be launching that new summer, running shoe in the summer. So let's go ahead and go to Gmail. And again, let's use the Help Me Gemini tool for the initial prompt. So this is going to be my initial prompt. So it's going to be create an email campaign to advertise new running shoes for this summer for existing customers. So that is my initial prompt. Again, it's not giving a lot of context. It's not clear. I just have it in my mind, and I'm just going to put in what I need. But I'm not giving Gemini more to work with. So that is why we have to Help Me Gemini. I click on submit, which is going to create that new prompt for me. And it's going to be able to tell or use it in order to tell Gemini exactly what we need and a little bit more of information as well. So you see here, we have the new prompt saying craft an email marketing campaign to promote a new line of running shoes specifically designed for the summer season. You see all this text, which is great because again, it's going to give us a better response. So we click on copy. Let's go to compose. We click on help me write, and then create. That is going to start creating that email for us. And here we go. So that is the email that Gemini has created. And let's take a look. It says, we're excited to introduce our new line of running shoes. It gives you some information about the product, like, hey, with the lightweight, breathable upper and cushion midsole, these shoes will keep your feet cool and comfortable. So again, all of that, we didn't even tell Gemini at our initial prompt, all of these details. But with the extra details that came in with the Help Me Gemini, we were able to pull this out too. We even have here a discount that it's also added here in an email, which is good. Again, you do have your same refine if you want to formalize it, elaborate, or shortened, or if you just want to recreate it. Like if you want to maybe have another copy of this, you can do recreate. And once you like it, you click on insert. And again, you can do small tweaks here, or you can change anything you like here in order to, to create this email campaign. So now that we have known how to use Google Docs with the Help Me Write, we have the Gmail, the Help Me Write as well. Now let's track this, because for marketing or for sales, you also need to track this, or maybe send it to your sales department so that they can track how many leads you get from that email. So for that, we are also going to use one of the prompts here. And one of the things here, let me see. So it's going to be this one here. So let's go ahead and go to Sheets. And let's use Help Me Gemini. So I'm asking Gemini, or Help Me Gemini, to create a tracker for outbound sales campaign, which should include if lead was sent to sales. So let's click on Submit. That is going to generate a new prompt for us. And yeah, here we go. It's conceptualize a comprehensive tracking system to monitor and progress an outbound sales campaign. Of course, all of these details come into mind too. You see how Help Me Gemini currently works. Let's do a copy for this. It's going to be submit again. Here we go. You see here, it's also even including key performance indicators, lead generation, email open rates. So we click copy. We go to our spreadsheet. We click on Help Me Organize, which is, for us invoking the Gemini AI. We click on Create. That is going to help us organize or create that table for us. And you see here, let's take a look at what it generated. So it generated the campaign name. Let's go. Date range, the target persona, campaign objective, email subject line. So all of this was generated. So things that could take you like what? Maybe an hour, 2 hours to do, by yourself. You have the Help Me Gemini plus the Help Me Organize from Google, from Gemini directly, and you'll be able to do it. And how long it took me, like 1 or 2 minutes. So again, this can easily work for your company. And again, you can use the Help Me Gemini to kind of get those better prompts, and get these done in your spreadsheets. Again, if you don't like this, maybe you want to have another one. Of course, you can always create a new one, and you also have the same buttons here to retry, and it's gonna tell Gemini just to create a new template for you in spreadsheet. So for example, here, created another one, and you have the option here to insert. Like if you want to insert, and then you can change things up here as you see fit. So that is also one of the things that Gemini will do, and we highly recommend the use of the Help Me Gemini tool along with the Gemini subscription, so that you'll be able to integrate this with your services, with your Gmail, your Drive, your Google Sheets, your documents, your slides, and also your Google Meet meetings as well. And I'm gonna stop sharing my screen here. And Frank, I don't know if you want to share the screen back with the presentation, please.
Sure, definitely. Let me. There we go.
Perfect. Awesome. All right. So if we go to the next slide, please. There we go. Thank you. So now that we know how that works, now let's talk a little bit about the resources also for Gemini. So we do have Gemini does have an FAQ, or frequently asked questions of things that maybe are of interest to you. Like for example, if you want to know how Gemini protects your data, or if you want to learn how Google's AI principles, or if you want to see if there are any restrictions with Gemini and using it with Google Workspace, or if you are a HIPAA compliant organization, if you want to know if Google or Google Gemini is HIPAA compliant. So that is the FAQ. All the answers are there. We also recommend taking a look at those update blogs. So we highly recommend keeping you updated with the Gemini latest features and news, because again, Google is releasing new things. So we always want to have it ready to try it, of course. And then at the end, we do have also a generative AI training and help, which is going to give you again best practices. If you really want to know, exactly again how to create better prompts designed for your company. If you're someone in the marketing department, or someone in sales, or someone handling project management, Google gives you a couple of example prompts and kind of helps you give you an idea on how to craft those prompts and how to use Gemini to its fullest. Yeah, Frank.
Thank you, David. Well, as you saw in the presentation, there was an example of 3 services that you can use Gemini with. Of course, there are many other Google services for which Google is constantly adding features, right? Integrating Google Gemini. The same way you have seen that Google Workspace receives updates almost every week, and it's constantly improving all of its core services. Gemini is one of the services, of course, across all of the Google Workspace services that will continue to receive new features, new enhancements throughout the year in upcoming years, of course. So with that being said, there are 2 editions for Gemini. There's Gemini Business and there's Gemini Enterprise. Now, there's some features besides the ones that David mentioned, right, that are gonna be rolled out throughout the year. We'll keep you updated on some of them that will probably be in beta, some of them that will be probably taking place throughout the year. Now, if you wish to test Gemini, we are able to provide to any of our customers with a free trial for 30 days in order for you to have the Gemini capabilities and your Google Workspace accounts for the amount of users that you probably need to test Gemini with. We also have the possibility as your premier partner to be able to provide probably bundles with your Google Workspace environment, right? So we'll be sharing the presentation with you if any of you would like to explore Gemini, right? Either pricing, the trial. Haven't included pricing within the presentation for the reason that we are actually able to negotiate pricing also with Google. Is of course a paid service, is AI integrated within your Google Workspace environment. But again, as your premier partner, we're able to negotiate pricing with Google. So if there's any interest you have in acquiring the service, feel free to let us know. Or if you would like to take advantage of the trial, also feel free to let us know. Just to throw the options here, there are 2 editions. And along the way, there are going to be actually at least 4 editions, including what David just mentioned previously, right? Diversifying the products, the features, specific features that AI within Google Workspace has. We'll also have AI meetings and messaging and AI security. Now, last but not least, David was showcasing also helping Gemini with it, which is an extension that has been developed by HiView Solutions. A good way we like to explain this is that, as you saw, whenever you create a prompt and you provide it to Gemini, it's gonna give you a response, and it will probably give you a different response depending on the parameters that you provide. Is using an analogy, is like if you shuffle a deck of cards and you choose, let's say, 3 cards, you're not gonna get the same cards probably in the same order or the same cards at the same time. So the same way is using this analogy is that generative AI works. So we developed this extension. It's completely free, of course, for you to be able to craft effective prompts when using AI, especially dedicated to Gemini, right? It's not the only extension application that we actually have built. We also have a signature management software for Gmail. This is a tool that we have had available for a couple of months already. It's available. We're going to be sharing the presentation. You're going to be able to download both to use them, right? There is a paid version, though. There are 2 editions for this signature management software. You can actually also compare the features it has in general. In the presentation we'll be sharing, you'll have direct links to each specific resource, the prompt guides, everything that we have discussed today. So expect that before the end of this week to receive this recap. If you would like to activate the trial for Gemini, if you would like to explore the pricing, or if you have any questions, feel free to contact us. Reply back the email that we'll send, or you can communicate directly with any of the HiView members that you see in this meeting, especially Alejandra Tejada, your account manager probably, or myself as well as your account manager. Now, as promised, we also have a small space. We have a couple of minutes left for some questions that you may have. So feel free to ask any questions that you may have. Thank you, Tori. Appreciate it. Feel free to ask any questions, as Gemini is pretty much something new, right? There's probably a bunch of questions or concerns that you may have. So we have Alex. For the Google Meet notes, he says, will that be able to take notes if you aren't able to attend the meeting?
I can take that. No, right now that is currently possible only if you attend the meeting. You will see on the top right corner, you will see a small pencil icon where you can click on it, but you will need to be attending the meeting.
Thank you, David. Chris also asked, how do you enable Gemini within Google Workspace for the users? I'll take that one, David. So in order to enable Google Gemini, Chris, I would suggest you to contact your account manager. We are able to enable Gemini for your account. We are able to enable the trial, so you use it, right, for the amount of users that you request. And once the trial is gone, it gives enough time for our team to be able to negotiate pricing in terms of if you would like to continue to use the service. But short answer, to enable Gemini for your Google Workspace, you'll need to get in touch with your account manager. Todd says, just confirming my understanding that once rolled out, Gemini's side panel will proactively, without prompts, generate suggestions.
Yes, from what we've seen in the Help Center articles that are coming in, yes, Google or Gemini will give you some suggestions on the specific content based on what you're seeing. Like, or if you have a Google document open, it should give you a couple of suggestions on what to do. Like, again, the summarize, or the maybe make reference of another document. That is what we've seen. Again, those are currently in alpha testing, so that might change. But that is, what they have specified that it's going to do.
Thank you, David. Any additional question we may have, Tim? Horacio asks, will Gemini remember and learn from older conversations?
Yes. So Gemini will have an option, as the Gemini on the web has, which is going to help you. Like, it's going to have a history, and it's going to go by with whatever you instructed it before, and it's also going to have the option to clear the history or clear past conversations from that side panel.
Thank you, David. Alex asks, will you be able to share a conversation with other team members in Gemini?
And a conversation through where? Like, if you're in Google Chat or if you're in Google Meet, Alex?
I can clarify. So if you have a prompt where you have Gemini ingest information and you have a conversation with Gemini are you able to share that specific conversation with Gemini with another team member so that they can add to that prompt?
Not that I know of. I don't think that's going to be available because I haven't seen anything regarding that.
Got it.
Thank you, Alex. Thank you, David. Any additional question you may have, Tim? I think the question from Alex is because in Vault, you're actually able to do that, right? Like the matters, other administrators are able to access them. It's not a feature that has been announced or not available, but sounds like a really good feature idea, actually, to provide feedback to Google.
Yeah, that is why it's always good to, and what I said in one of the previous slides, to always be on the lookout for those updates, because that update could be out there or that could be on the works, and then in the next couple of months that could be released. And if you're not like looped in those updates for Gemini or looking at those updates page, then you could miss the update. So it's always good to just be in the lookout for that, for anything that comes in for Gemini, because it's pretty exciting.
Yeah, definitely. There's an additional question from Todd. It says, where does the prompt content from Help Me Gemini go? What servers, data, retention policy, etc.?
For that, I am not 100% sure, but I can get back to you, Todd, for that. So we can talk to our developers and get you specific information on where that goes. But yeah, let me follow up with you, Todd, through email, so I can give you a better answer.
Thank you, Todd. Feel free to ask any additional question, Tim. We still have about 5 minutes. Horacio asks, is Gemini currently able to create code for Google Apps Script?
That's a good question. I've seen it. I think I've seen it work with the Gemini web version, but that's only like if you go to Gemini.google.com, you will be able to do some sort of app script or or have Gemini do a coding for you. It's something that you can test once you have the Gemini on the web. But specifically inside of the app script page, I haven't seen it. So again, it could be an update that could be released in the next couple of months if that's something that will become available. But I have definitely seen coding help from Gemini through the web version.
Thank you, Horacio. We still have some time for some additional questions if you have any, Tim. Alex says, very exciting stuff. Thank you, Frank and David. Thank you, Alex. We appreciate it. Todd asks, does Gemini Enterprise subscription provide the necessary access to Gemini Pro API for all coding generation? And does it detail the amount of transactions, etc.?
Detail the amount of transactions? No. Or if you're talking about limiting the amount of transactions for the enterprise, it doesn't limit any transactions or any sort of requests that are being made. For the Pro API, let me see if I can find.
There is a, I think it's Vertex AI Gemini API, for which the price is in Google Clouds.
Yeah, Gemini Pro API. Let me see if I can find something for you. Yeah, I don't think that comes integrated with the enterprise, the Gemini Pro. I'm just looking at that right now, and it only looks that that's being added in maybe personal accounts. But again, I'll follow up with you, Todd. That's a good question. I don't see anything here on my end that indicates that is something that gets integrated with the Gemini Enterprise. But I'll let you know if I find something that says otherwise.
Sounds good. I was just adding that you guys did mention that there was some idea of developers doing coding. I'm just curious at what level that comes in from the Google Workspace offering versus obviously the API is just the back end to do it integration.
Mhm.
Some of the
Yeah.
fully integrated coding environment, right? Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
And thanks for today. This is wonderful.
Thank you, Todd. Thank you, David. Well, for purpose of time, we'll wrap up here. We'll thank you all for your time. As promised, we'll be sharing the presentation with you in a small recap email once the recording is available as well. And feel free to contact us again. You can contact us through the email we'll be sending, through our support team, support@hiviewsolutions.com, through your account manager or any member in this meeting, right? Or the invite that you receive, or even account management at HiViewsolutions.com. Thank you. Thank you, John, as well, for your comments. Thank you, everybody, and we hope you have a wonderful rest of your day and week. Thank you, Tim.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.